Hi everyone, my name's Ryan Lane, and welcome to my review channel. So for today's movie, I will be reviewing Deadpool and Wolverine, directed by Shawn Levy and starring Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Emma Corrin. So, it's been 6 years since the events of Deadpool 2, and things haven't been going so well for Deadpool, played once again by Ryan Reynolds. He's rocking a toupee, his girlfriend Vanessa, played by Morena Baccarin, has broken up with him, and he sells used cars, so he's not exactly doing too great at the moment. But when the TVA literally comes knocking at his door, he gets the opportunity to save the world and prove to himself and others that he is in fact a hero. And in order to save the world, he's going to need the help of a certain Canadian mutant with a penchant for F-bombs and alcoholism. So, as the title would suggest, Deadpool and Wolverine are kind of the stars of the show here, folks. And the film is at its best when the film lets these two actors just verbally and literally spar with each other. Ryan Reynolds proves he still has it all these years after the original Deadpool was released. He still can effortlessly weave between irreverent line deliveries and pathos. And Hugh Jackman, personally, this isn't my favorite interpretation of the character for reasons I'll get into later. But Hugh Jackman still has it. He rocks the original costume quite well, and he still brings the awesome Canadian murderous rampage that we all know and love to the character. Emma Corrin, she kind of awkwardly shares the villain role with the TVA, but she still brings strong femme fatale energy to a character that can literally get inside of your head. So writing-wise, this film is surprisingly a step down from the predecessors. It's still good, but again, it's not quite as tight. I should note that Deadpool and Wolverine has 5 writers. And honestly, I'm surprised the film works as well as it does based off of that fact alone, because there's a lot going on. The writing is at its best, like I said, when it focuses on Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, when the characters are bouncing off each other, literally and figuratively, the film is at its best. In fact, I'd argue the best conversation between these two characters occurs in a minivan, of all things. And in this minivan, Hugh Jackman, he gets arguably the most cutthroat dialogue ever he's ever had for the Wolverine character. It's when the film pulls away from these two characters that things get on a little more territory. As you may have heard, this film contains about a bajillion characters. And again, it's kind of fun at first to seeing all the characters from various Marvel movies, MCU or otherwise, and seeing them all sort of tossed into was practically a sandbox at times in more ways than one. Seeing them all bounce off each other and seeing Deadpool riff on it. But it gets exhausting after a while, and it does drag the pacing to a halt at times. That way the film can essentially say, hey, remember that one character that had barely any lines from this movie? Yeah, we remembered him, and again, personally I remembered him, but it's like, okay, this is nice. Yeah, I don't know. Again, there's a way to do multiverse shenanigans right. The Spider-Verse movies, particularly Across the Spider-Verse, has shown that you can do it really well. But here's the thing. I think with Across the Spider-Verse, it has way better pacing and knows how to handle it that way. What it does with the callbacks is integrated in the plot and doesn't just feel like a callback for callback's sake. Plus, also, as I mentioned earlier with the Wolverine character, his backstory, well, here's the thing. The trailers, they built it up like Hugh Jackman. He's playing literally the worst Wolverine. That's a direct quote from the movie. Wolverine is referred to as the literal worst at times. And I don't know. The backstory for why he is and why he's ultra depressed, even by Wolverine standards, is basic. Again, it's not terrible or anything. It's not like he is the way he is, because he lost his rubber ducky as a kid. It's not like that level of lame, but it's I don't know. I could have used a little bit more. I don't know. It's again, I don't know. I guess it kind of shows why the Wolverine character like should have stayed dead, like actually dead, not like multiverse shenanigan dead. But again, it's not terrible, but I don't know. I could have used a little bit more detail. So visually speaking, this film is Deadpool on a mega budget, for better or worse. The action sequences expand upon the visual motifs of the prior films and up the ante with impressive gore, Easter eggs, and fun needle drops. Like just the very opening action sequence alone is hilarious and so expertly choreographed and had me laughing my ass off the entire time. Again, but unfortunately, I don't know, for a $200 million movie, I would expect the visuals to be a tad less jankier than they be, because there are certain moments in the film where I was like, okay, I think you could have used either a little more time or a little more money. And there's one particular special effect for a particular character, I am desperately trying to avoid spoilers here, that kind of proves that just because what works in animation does not automatically work in live action. That's all I have to say about that. So, though it suffers from plotting that is, in almost every sense of the word, overstuffed, Deadpool and Wolverine still succeeds thanks to, well, Deadpool and Wolverine. So, with all that in mind, I will be giving Deadpool and Wolverine 3.5 out of 5 stars. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. If you like this review and would like to see more like it, be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And for today's comment section prompt of the day, what is your favorite movie in the Deadpool trilogy?